everyone, and welcome to Club 3, Episode 3 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM20 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. You're very welcome. Welcome along. So we're at Derby County. We've only just taken over in the last month or so of game time. They were sitting in the bottom three when we took over, having had a really bad run of games. And our first game was the MK Dons game, where we won 2-1. And since then, things have been going pretty well, really, considering the run of games they've had. We've had a couple of wins and 3 draws in the 5 that we've taken over. We've had some good teams to play in the sense of Sheffield Wednesday, Portsmouth, the likes are all in and around where we are in the league, and so are Forest and Middlesbrough and Hull, the next 3 games as well. Some big name teams in here, but they're all struggling a little bit in the Championship. So if we go and have a look, so you see the likes of Sheffield Wednesday that we've played, and Portsmouth, Hull, Middlesbrough have just jumped up a little bit, but Forest are in the bottom 3 as well. So you can see that there's some teams in there that we can potentially take points off of, and hopefully continue to push ourselves higher up the league quite quickly and early on in the process, so we're not having to fight a relegation battle. The main problem that I've had since I've taken over, if we go and have a look at the schedule again and look in at the goal scorers, is that we've really struggled to get a regular up-front goal scorer. In terms of Butterworth is our main striker, but it's Tyler Walker that's come off the bench these 3 games and got 3 goals. I played him a little bit earlier on in a game and played him from the start, and he was pretty toothless again. So he seems as though he's a really good candidate for the bench, but not such a good starting option. And Butterworth just isn't scoring. It's been absolutely ages since I don't know whether he did score. Right the way in the first game of the season, I think it was his last goal for Derby County. So you can see that is one of a couple of areas where we've got some problems. We do have a slight defensive issue as well in terms of cover, but that's something that we'll have to address in January. We're sitting currently in the 27th of November, so we've still got a month or so left until we get to the transfer window. Having said that, though, if we go back to the home page, you can see down in the bottom right hand corner here that the finances have changed a little bit. I rejigged them a bit, took some out of the transfer budget to put into the wage budget, so we've got a slightly firmer foundation to work from. But I have actually already made a January transfer, and it was with regards trying to find a goal scorer. And so what I've had to do is I scoured the place as much as I could to find a decent one, and as good as I can find at a young age group that we did have to pay a little bit over the odds for, I've found John Clark, who's currently in the under-23s at Leicester. You can see that for them, he's scored 6 in 8 in terms of non-competitive games. He's also played in this competition for Wales under-21s, the Euro Championship qualifiers, and he's got 15 in 11 appearances for them. So he's obviously a good goal scorer. There's obviously something about him, but he's not made it through at Leicester just yet. And so now he is joining us at the end of at the beginning of the transfer window, should I say. Now, that's the first bit of transfer business that we've done since I came to the club. There'll be more in the January transfer window when I can find a few probably loan players a little bit maybe in the defensive cover area, but 1 or 2 other people that I'm looking at as well. So, but that's for another day. For now, we've got Nottingham Forest in the Championship. This is what they call the Brian Clough derby. It's Derby County versus Forest, both having been managed by Brian Clough to very high levels of success, I would suggest, for both of these clubs. But it's another reason why they don't particularly care for each other. There's rivalries for all sorts of reasons. And on this occasion, it's based around the manager plus a geographical thing a little bit as well. We maintained this slightly defensive structure, but it's been solid enough to get us some decent results. We do have an alternative for partway through games when it's looking as though we need to go a bit more offensive. But I've been starting with this particular formation every game, and we're going to do that again today. I've been able to rotate a little bit, but not a lot, because there's not a lot of defensive cover in this squad. It's a bit unbalanced, so the defensive unit have remained the same. In terms of offensively, I'm still trying to bed a few people in, and see if I can get decent performances out of them, which is proving tricky. So the conversation we had a bit ago about Butterworth and Walker, I'm going to put Walker back in today in terms of making him the starting striker, just to see again if he can continue his good run of form. But both of them need a bit of help, and that's what we've got in Clark. So today's team against Nottingham Forest in the Championship is going to be Rekovic in goal, Coyle at right back, Kelly at left back, Camp and Cardoso in central defence, McNair, Benningham and Crowley in central midfield, with McCowan on the right, Daniels on the left and Walker up top, with a bench of Boone, Johnson, Knight, Sibley, Murphy, Miller and Butterworth. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So we just suggested to the players, go out there and give these fans their money's worth today. That's all I want, is a decently good competitive performance. I don't know what Forest are going to bring. I don't know how we're going to cope. I'm still learning about this team of ours a little bit, so it could be anything today, but I just want us to remain competitive and make it hard for Forest to break us down, and hopefully we can gain something a little bit on the counter-attack. You can see so far the start of the game, the stats suggest that we've started pretty well, that we've had a couple of attempts at goal and reasonable amount of possession, and that's a good start. In terms of the way that the structure of our side works, you can see that we do have that defensive sound unit, and even midfield is dropped back, but then we've got this sort of pace down the wide left and wide right that helps us move up the pitch, and then the central midfield, couple of players from there do come and support the play once that ball is moving forward. But it's going to always be quite defensively structured, which is what we need currently. That was a little bit close for comfort, wasn't it? They're even going to check it to see whether it went over the line. It didn't, but heart in the mouth time a little bit on that one. But there we go. That would have been a bit of a disastrous thing to happen in sort of midway through the first half, wouldn't it? But Forest have an opportunity down the left-hand side, cut it centrally. Can we keep the shape and get a foot in at some point? That was a blast of a shot, but it did go slightly wide and didn't actually trouble the goalkeeper too much. And we're achieving exactly what I wanted to achieve so far. Structurally sound, making it hard for the opposition, occasionally get an opportunity ourselves. And can we just sneak it through to half-time at the minimum of 0-0, or are Forest going to catch us out here and go in with the advantage? Let's see how they get on. But again, we're making it hard for them. They're having to pass the ball quite quickly, but they are still in possession and they are still moving forward slightly. Still got those banks of four. That was a good shot and a whisker away, the commentary says. And we've just about managed to scrape through to half-time. You can see that in the terms of the stats, they did come back into the game a little bit more than I wanted them to. They had a few more shots than we did, a little bit more possession. But away from home against a direct rival, we are doing pretty well. So let's assertively say that I'm happy with the performance. Keep it up. Just the one thing that I've noticed about this side so far and the way that we've played is that there's been real lack of confidence, completely battered out of them by their previous results. And so all I'm doing at the moment is, whether I believe it or I don't, I'm just trying to boost the positivity, boost the confidence and get some motivation from them and hopefully get some better performance. But having said that, you can see if we pause the game slightly, all of these stats have changed on this side and none have really changed on this side. We are struggling in this second half, so we're going to make a couple of changes and just see. Look, see, this is the issue I've got always with my striker. Whoever starts the game, be it Butterworth or Walker, neither of them have played well at all when starting the game. And McCowan has been a little bit weak on that wide right-hand side as well. He's often being substituted. There's some issues to sort out in this side, definitely. But we've got some time to do it in January coming up. So that's when I'm going to be looking to really try and cement a better balance to our squad. But until then, we've got to carry on with what we've got. And so far, we are doing pretty well, I would say. In general, I am very happy with the way this new club is going. Again, very, very, very problematic for the goalkeeper in some of the passing back that we've done to him. But it's just about coped with it. There'll come a day, I'm sure, when that's not such a good idea and we fail to clear that line. But yeah, hopefully not, but we'll see. Forest again get another chance to attack us and bring it into the central area to go wide right. Richardson into the box. and it was a very decent cross to the far post, but we do get a very good clearance on it, and we've maintained possession down the wide right hand side ourselves, gone back to camp, don't play about with it at the back, and we did. It was loose at the back. It should have been a much more simple pass to find at that point than it was, and we've given the ball straight back again, and again they come down the wide right, and this time they make us pay for it at the near post. We've had a couple of warning shots by them in the last few minutes of the game, and on that occasion they make us pay for it, and it's really disappointing that it came from an error from us in trying to clear our lines out, and it was such a wayward ball going out left from camp, and it caused us all sorts of problems, and Forest make us pay dearly for it. And with 15 minutes to go, they go one up. So firstly, we're going to demand more from them in a shout, and then secondly, we're going to go into our slightly more attacking formation and structure and see if we can implement our style of play on them a little bit for the last 10 minutes or so of the game, and see if we can come. But it's Forest that are going to have another chance, and it was a good chance from a header, but it went again over the top. They've been very woeful with their finishing at times. But Daniels with a chance on a free kick for us, a good opportunity, but again Forest clear their lines. Can we maintain that pressure and keep going back at them for the last couple of minutes? Again, we have a chance. This is good, much better in terms of being able to force them back and try and get something from this match. Benningheim in central midfield out into Butterworth. Daniels gets past his man, jinks past his man. Good save by the goalkeeper, and eventually they clear it, but it was a really good tip out wide by the goalkeeper from a Daniels effort. And this time it's Forest who get a chance to completely take the game from us if they can get another goal at this stage, and they come down the left hand side to try and do it. And we maintain our discipline, our shape. That was a very good interception by Johnson, who's come on at right back for us and cleared the ball very nicely. But it still gives them more chances, and again a good foot in. This is good defensive work. I'm pretty happy with a lot of what we're doing. I just think we will have to find a way to get a slightly better balance moving up the pitch. At the moment, I'm still going to work in our slightly defensive unit as we lose the game 1-0, which is disappointing. I'm going to start with our slightly defensive unit most of the time because it gives us a foundation to work from. But we're probably going to have to realign a few bits of it as we go in terms of the style of play, just to make it so that the front man isn't so isolated maybe. And maybe that's one reason why they're playing so poorly up front. But yeah, it was a disappointing game, a disappointing result. Our first loss as Derby County, at Derby County, should I say. Calmly will say, unlucky boys, you know, just because I don't want to have too much of a go at them at this point. I'm still trying to, as I say, maintain the confidence and the motivation from them. And it does put us back down in that unfortunate bottom 3 whilst having played 18 along with everybody else now. But we are still in touch with quite a lot of sides above us, and there's some good teams still for us to play. Hull is coming up soon, Middlesbrough is coming up soon. If we could get a win out of one or two of those, then I think we're doing okay. In general terms, though, that was unfortunate today that we came up against a side that just managed to nick a goal off one of our own mistakes. Otherwise, we would have got another reasonable draw, I would have suggest, as we're trying to just find some level that we can then work from. And at the moment, it's a little bit hit and miss. But yeah, there you go. That's what it is. As I say, in terms of the games that are coming up, we've got Hull and we've got Middlesbrough coming up, which are pretty good for us to play. We're going to come back and play the Birmingham City game in the next episode, so I'll play a couple more games in between now and then. And if we're going to have a look at where they sit in the table, they're up in 4th, so that's going to be a real test for us. We've already played Palace, who were in 3rd, and got a draw from them. Can we do something similar against Birmingham? But that's for the next episode. Hope you're enjoying the series so far. If you are, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That would be really helpful to keep up to date with the videos. If you like this particular episode, please click that like button for me. It really helps to get more people looking at my channel, which is great. Until next time though, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.